Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Please welcome back Jessica Kirson and Sarah Hyland.
Hi, everyone. Hi, welcome back, Dad.
Hi.
Welcome back. How was the bathroom? Great. Great. Thank you so much.
Sorry.
Thank you. Thanks for coming back.
I don't know.
I'm just seeing if anyone left. Just reminds me of my mom. Okay. A couple of you just moaned. I, wouldn't be sitting here if everything were okay.
No.
There's reasons why we're here.
Never.
I know some of you understand. I love this crowd. I was just saying that backstage. Thank you. It's not easy to do a live podcast. It's kind of a weird thing to do. It's not just doing like a stand-up show. And plus it's 5, so it's not...
30.
It's different if you're doing something at 8 or 9. People are a little buzzed. I think some of you are high.
Sure.
If you're high and you're Jewish, please clap. Your son just clapped. Yep. And Mom clapped. Are you high, Mom? No, have you ever smoked pot?
Oh, yeah.
Did you just hear that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You can do that really well.
Oh, yeah.
She does the best.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Smoke pot. Pot's awesome. I got so hungry. I almost ate my own arm one time. It was so high. It was awful. Then I went and took a nap. I had to punch myself in my head to stop. I have my own mom.
What else did you do when you got high, Gail?
Gail's from Kentucky. I don't know who this person is.
Do your mom for a second. What does your mom say to you when you call her?
What? Hi, babe.
Yeah.
She said, how are you? I'm like, I'm good. Good. Okay. Well, I just want to check in, see how you're doing. You know what you should do? Because I was on, okay, moms do this. I was on MTV Punk'd like fucking 12 years ago, man. Like 13 fucking years ago. And I met Ashton Kutcher one time at the, you know what I mean? Like at the audition once. And like I never saw him again, right? And so she's like, you know what? I think you should call Ashton and tell him to put you on a movie. Have you seen Ben Affleck out there? Would you tell him? No shitting. Like, if I just happen to run to Ben, I don't like him. She calls him Ben first name. I don't like him. I don't. I think he drinks too much. I don't. Bitch, he don't know you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's good with Jen. I don't. She just has the lowdown on all these fucking people. Anyway, she always wants me to call like famous people to tell them to put me in their movies. You should just call,
My mom does that too.
Yeah, you know John Lovitz? Don't you know him? Call him. And just ask him if you can do something on TV or something like that. I'm sure he'd take your call. And you're like, bitch, I gotta have his number. Yeah, to like come up with the craziest.
You should call John Lovitz.
You should call him.
They think we know everyone.
Yeah. Tell Ben I said hi. I will.
That's amazing. Oh boy, I love you guys. I'm going to bring out our next guest for this next podcast, and I'm very excited. I love him so much. He's so brilliantly fun. He's amazing.
Goddamn hands.
Yeah. He's so great. I've been a fan of his for a while, and I love him as a person. And he's a great stand-up and a great guy. Give him a big hand and a lot of love. Jesus Trejo.
Jesus.
Hi. Hi, I love you.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, Jesus is here.
I'm here. Thank you for having me. This is great.
Thank you for being here. You're amazing. When?
Stop it. Yeah.
Okay.
You're very sweet.
When did we meet? We met a couple of years. How long ago did we meet?
We met in New York. I was going out there and I was trying to get some spots, and you were very sweet, and you put me on some spots. I was just going out there to kind of. I was still working at the store. I was parking cars at the store.
At the Comedy Store in L.A. He was parking cars. The shit we have to deal with.
Yeah.
How hard it is in this business.
Yeah, I saved up money to go out there for like a week to do shows, and I was just trying to get on whatever. And then you're like, I think I know somebody that get you on a show tonight, and you got me on. It's like, I don't know why you did that, but because you're sweet, of course, but it's like I was blown away by it.
Yeah.
She's that girl for sure.
I just got emotional. I forget that I do stuff like that for people.
She does it all the time.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
I do. I'll do. I'll never
Did you
forget
suck
it.
my dick that night?
Probably or something. I don't know.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry that I made you do that.
Yeah.
I had to deflect because it's hard for me to take a compliment. But I'm glad that I did that for you because you deserve it. I think when I know that someone works hard and really wants it, I don't think I know this, in comedy, I really try to help them because I know how disgusting this business is.
It's a rough one for sure.
Yeah, and I knew that you were parking cars at the Comedy Store. Anyone who does that works hard, and it's like, this business is so insane. I think, when people are like, oh, I'm just going to do comedy, and I'm just going to be a comedian, I'm like, good luck.
Brace yourself.
Brace yourself, because, I performed in a laundromat, and a donut shop, and a deli, and a supermarket. I mean, this is what you have to do if you really want to get good, and you're starting out.
What's the weirdest place you perform stand-up at?
Oh, boy. Oh, this is no one's gonna. Well, people will believe it.
The one you told me about.
The barn that was.
The barn.
Well,
No, I was thinking the club.
That sounds
people aren't gonna believe this.
The one with the guys standing around you.
That was the worst experience I ever had. Was a Christmas party in
That sounded bad.
in a bar in New York City with lawyers in New York. It was horrific.
In a barn, yeah.
And they were screaming, "Show me your tits" and stuff. It was like The Accused. Remember that movie? I literally felt they were screaming at me, and I was on a dance floor, and they were just surrounding me, screaming at me. It was horrible. But no, no one's gonna believe this, but it's a place in Jersey. This sounds so crazy. Maybe I was on acid, to be honest with you, but it was a Holocaust museum that was converted into. It was a barn that they converted.
Oh, wow.
A Holocaust museum. This is a real place in New Jersey, and they had a singles event.
And they were showing goats.
And there were 45 women and like 2 men. And they were Orthodox. It's getting worse and worse, isn't it? So you can't say anything, and they don't laugh. For people that pray so much, you'd think they'd be happy. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm Jewish, and I'm saying this. So the women are all covered with the wigs and the whole outfit. First of all, I don't understand why Orthodox women have to cover their elbows and knees and collarbones so that men don't get turned on. I'm a lesbian. I don't get turned on by knees. Anyway, so can you imagine if their vaginas and breasts and asses don't have to be covered, but their knees and collarbones? Anyway, so that would be hilarious. So I do this singles event, and the women are all angry because there's no men there. I mean, they're angry anyway because they have to pray 24 hours a day, and they can't eat anything. And so they're all just sitting there, with those faces that I talk about, those Jewish, like, angry, like, faces, and I'm in a barn. It's a barn, and there's Holocaust artifacts all around in glass cases.
Yeah.
That was, I think, the worst gig I've ever done in my life,
Man.
with two men that were not very attractive. And those were the only two men at this singles event that these women, and all they had was like grape juice and fucking stale Jewish cookies.
Matzo crackers.
Yeah, matzo crackers.
Matzo crackers.
Yeah. What was the worst gig you ever did? What do you think?
I think it was probably, one time I did a college gig, and it was at a food court. Right?
Yeah, I've done those too.
It was in the food court, broad daylight,
Yep.
11 a.m.
Yep.
And so I show up, no stage, no nothing.
Yep.
And they're like, all right, you're going to go on in 5. I said, that's great. Where's the stage? He's like, oh, yeah, we couldn't find the stage.
I've done that.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, and so at that point, I'm like, no big deal, right? They know there's a show. They're like, yeah, our printer's not working.
The whole college, there's no printer.
And I'm like, do you at least have a microphone? And they're like, yeah, we do. So they give me the wireless microphone. I'm like, where's the speaker? They're like, it's over there. I'm like, so where are the people going to sit? Like, right here. I'm like, why is it over there? It's like pointing that way. The kicker was that they were building a restaurant in the food court, and it was under construction, so you could hear the jackhammer. And the whole time, it's like, and then they forgot my name completely, and the guy goes, all right, for your comedy needs, here. And and I go up there and I start talking, and there were people upset that, like, there were some students that were like studying and eating. One kid closes his book, grabs his tray, and like walks away from me. And I have to keep going.
Right, you have to do the time.
And
you
I'm sweating. Like I had to do an hour.
Yeah, you have to do an hour. I've done it.
20 minutes into it, I'm like sweating.
Yep.
Through my jean jacket.
Me too. I've done it so many times.
And I look back, and I'm like, I shrug. I'm like, no one's laughing. And the guy's like, you're doing good. I'll never forget that one.
Me too. I've done that. So I did it at University of Texas during lunch hour in a food court.
Oh.
And the bells would go off, like the period would show, like, people just be running to class.
Oh, one time, actually, I performed in the hallway.
Got worse.
Yeah, it was a city college, and the class is let out, and there's people crisscrossing. So I could have told the same 5 minutes over and over again. I got a different crowd. I mean, so the other day,
This doesn't matter.
It was like an Inception / loop, like of hell in comedy. I don't know, but it pays the bills, I guess.
Yeah, I was fascinated by your special. I was reading up on it, like that you. This is amazing to me. Because during COVID, some people don't know this, and I'm not making this about me at all, but this is fascinating. So in your special, you talk about how you take care of your elderly parents.
I do, yeah.
Both of them. Give him a hand. This is unbelievable to me. Both of them are they okay now, or are they still ill? Both of them.
No, yeah, it's an ongoing thing. Those things never get better, but you know what I mean? It's like, I've been a caregiver for a long time. Actually, there's a documentary that ARP Studios did called Care to Laugh. So they followed me for a year being a caregiver and doing stand-up comedy, and that's rough. That's rough. Like having cameras in weird situations. When you're like, my dad was sick at the time. He had he's recovered now, but he had colon cancer. And then my mom is like Asian, getting sick, and it's like they're seeing me kind of pull material from like not the funniest moments of my life.
Which is very, very hard to do. Just
explaining to your mom that you have power of attorney, and then she's going, "Oh, that's great. I'm so proud of you." I'm like, "No, I'm not an attorney, Mom. I have power of attorney." And she's bragging to her friends, "He's powerful, this guy."
guy.
So you find like little jokes in these like not so fun moments in life, and I think that's kind of cool. I think
It is very
verbal
hard
alchemy.
to do
I
that.
guess I don't know.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That is so hard to do. It's the hardest thing that I've had to do is find humor out of hard things in my life. So I give you so much credit for doing that.
Thank you.
And having I've had people follow me around and do documentaries, and it's brutal, brutal.
It's tough.
And is that out now?
You guys can stream it now. It's like on demand and on Apple. You can. I don't know how that works, but yeah, it's like. But yeah, it's out there, and even in the special, I talk a lot about like my parents, me being a caregiver. It's like it feels like I have kids who are in their terrible 70s. You know what I mean? And I enjoy it, but man, it's tough, man. It really is tough. Like my mom wanting to eat stuff that she's not supposed to. And we go to the doctor, we leave the doctor, they tell her not to eat this, and she's like, can we go to McDonald's? Like, no, they just told you not to eat McDonald's. And then, me taking her I took my mom to water aerobics for a while. And afterwards she'd be like, can we go to McDonald's? I'm like, you didn't do anything in the pool.
It's
like McDonald's are for winners, you didn't do anything. I don't know. It's just like fun moments like that. I don't know. I get a kick out of it.
It's beautiful. It's really amazing. Yeah.
Hey there, auto mechanics, super cool do-it-yourself guys who work on their own cars. I want to tell you about RockAuto.com, the online store with every auto part at the best prices. This is your one-stop shop for everything auto parts. Fuck yeah! RockAuto.com has been in business for 20 years, and they make it easy to find the car parts you need at the best possible prices. No more talking to counter guys who need to order your parts, aren't really sure what you're looking for, never have quite what you need, and then after all the hassle will still charge you storefront markups. I love tits! At RockAuto.com, you can easily find everything you need. And whether you're a mechanic, an auto shop, or working on your own car, everyone has access to the same incredible pricing at RockAuto.com. So if you're a car guy, right now, go to RockAuto.com and check out all the parts available for your car. You're going to have so much fun looking at car parts. I have so much fun looking at porn. So once more, go to RockAuto.com. No promo code needing as their pricing is already that good. When you order, make sure to tell RockAuto.com that you heard about them on Disgusting Hawk. RockAuto.com. Let's get back into it.
A new motto.
Are you an only child?
I am. I'm an only child.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure. It's a lot.
Do you have siblings?
I do. I have a full sister, 4 halves, and 4 steps and 2 halves. 3 steps now. One of my stepsister passed away. Yeah, it's been a difficult 4 years for me, one thing after the other. And my father passed during COVID, a month into COVID. Yeah, yesterday was the 2-year anniversary of his passing. Yeah, but the reason why I say that is because it's very hard to make things like that funny. And there were a lot of funny moments when he was passing and when he passed. And taking care of a sick parent is very difficult. And being around that is very difficult. So I give you credit. For doing, and being an only child, I can't imagine dealing with that all alone, you know?
You just find the humor, I guess. It's like, like you were saying, it's like there's moments like with your father, it's like this is not a funny moment, but as comics, our brains are so twisted that we're like, oh, I'm gonna write that down.
Of course.
In the worst moments possible, But I mean, that's what we do. I mean, that's what we signed up for. It's a blessing and a curse, right? So,
of course. I mean, he had this woman taking care of him who was sleeping on the floor next to him, and when he woke up and saw her there and thought there was a robber in the house, and started screaming for my stepmother to go to the safe, and he was it was difficult with him, but I found so many funny moments in it, and I've joked about it on stage, and people laugh. It's like that's what comics we have to do. We have to find humor in the pain.
Yeah.
And sometimes people can laugh about it, and sometimes you find probably people get tense sometimes.
Yeah, even like I remember we're like being there and having to translate from the doctor to my dad that he has cancer, right? Oh. And then my dad going like they show him the picture of like where the cancer was. So they show him the cam pictures that they took, and my dad looks at it. He's like, "That's not mine." He slid it back to the guy. The doctor was like, "What's your dad say?" My dad said that that's not his cancer. That you show the same kind of picture to everybody. And there's this long process of me having to play telephone.
Oh, that's...
And explain medical terms in Spanish back to my dad. But in the end, it's like the concept of like, I think my dad beat cancer on denial.
Wow.
Like he never thought he had it. I mean, to the very end, he's like, "I don't have that shit." I'm like, "Dad, you're getting treatment for this thing. I don't have it."
You know what? That's real.
Great.
Yeah, the mind is
I believe
powerful.
in that shit. I really do.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The mind is powerful. So, and so they came on the road with you to gigs at some times?
Yeah, because at the time I couldn't coordinate or figure out how to get a caregiver, and now I mean I'm so grateful that I have a caregiver where I can go on the road now and do stuff. But yeah, I would go on the road and take my parents with me.
Wow.
And my dad loved it. Like there's a scene as I'm driving to a gig in San Jose, California from LA. And my parents are fighting over the iPad in the back.
This is amazing.
And they caught it on camera, and then my dad puts on the headphones and gives the iPad to my mom and says, "You watch and I'll just listen." And my mom's like, "That's not a good deal." He's like, "You just watch, I listen." Like that was some kind of fair trade-off. And then it's like my mom passed out. My dad did too, actually. And then when we get to San Jose, he's like, "Man, that was quick." I'm like, "Yeah, that was 8 hours you were out for." So they got there all rested. Like, "Man, that was a quick drive. I drove the whole way." And yeah, they're like kids. You know, it's like we got to the hotel and I waited in the car for a little bit so my parents could wake up. I'm like, I have kids of my own.
Literally, like, have anyone who has kids in the audience understands this is literally what we do with the kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, changing diapers, like that's not fun, but hysterical. They gotta start making baby changing stations stronger. I will say that.
Oh my God.
Unbreakable. Yeah.
My mom broke 2 last week. Just wham! I'm like, oh. Like, Mom, you gotta get up. They're gonna start charging us for this.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so crazy. Yeah.
Parents are heavy.
Diapers.
Parents are heavy. That's the name of your new special. Parents are heavy. Parents are heavy.
They break shit.
That's funny. That's like, I'm more than one level. Yeah. It's like heavy and.
Oh, that is a great name for.
and
Good.
literally.
That's good.
That's great.
Yeah, I'll take half credit.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Just give me $5. I just gotta get home.
I used to have to go, like, so when I would go buy, like, my parents, like, diapers, it's like, they don't make it easy. Like, diaper companies, they make big-ass boxes. It's nothing discreet. So you got to go in there, get a fucking 80s boombox size worth of diapers. And you just put it on. So I used to go buy smaller packs, right, at, like, CVS at midnight or something when there's, like, not a lot of people. And I used to buy them all the time, and then the cashier, same lady would be there. Like, she just worked the night shift, but she was nosy, man. She's like, "Hey, I see you come in and buy the diapers all the time. Who are they for?" And just to fuck with it, it's none of her business. I'm like, "They're for me." You know what I mean? I hate doing laundry, so fucking why not?
That's amazing.
And she gave me the biggest eyes and never asked me ever again. I'm like, it's none of your business.
Who are they for? This is why people annoy me so. Who asked that? I can't stand people.
I forget her name, but I could tell you. CVS off Carson.
Let's go show her a visit.
Yeah.
I would have asked eventually.
Really?
Yeah. But this is what I mean. Like, I would have asked, but I wouldn't have given, like, an eye roll. Like, if you gave that answer, they were yours, I'd be like, no shit. That works. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be like,
She had more questions, too. She's at that point, she's like, "You know they have men cuts." I'm like, "No, like I'm like, I like these." She's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And then just scanned it and went about her business.
yeah.
Oh my God! What's your goal with stand-up? Like, what's your dream? Is it to like
Just
you
specials.
love? How long have you been doing it? It's not that long, right?
Actually, I'm gonna hit my 15-year mark. So
15 is a long time. I thought it was a lot less.
yeah.
That's a long time.
I started when I was 20.
Holy
Yeah,
shit!
35 now.
Wow. Yeah, 15 years is so you're in it, but you
Yeah.
seem pretty positive about it.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, yeah.
Oh, you're starting to get bitter. That's good.
I love it. I want to do nothing but specials. I mean, if I could do special after special, I mean, it's like I like everything else, you know. But yeah, stand-up is where it's at for me. Like I obsess too much over jokes for not me to have like the full experience of what it's like to be a stand-up. Like I want to just crank shit out.
Yeah. So you love stand-up.
I love it.
I don't.
You don't?
I know that's shocking for some people to hear.
Are you
I don't
serious?
love stand-up. I never
What
did.
don't you like about it?
A lot.
People.
The writing, the traveling, the on stage part.
I love to travel. I never loved the art of stand-up. I was always a big sketch person. I loved sketch, and I love performing. But I love, I love talk show stuff. I love interviewing. I love talking to people, and I love being on stage. But I was never like a huge fan of stand. I mean, especially now that people have become so like wanting to restrict you, because I love being so free on stage, and I want to be free to say whatever I want. So because people have become so sensitive, and it's become so like it's becoming more and more crazy to me. Even though I say whatever I want anyway, and I don't let anyone restrict me or tell me what I can and can't say. And I fully believe in free speech, because I actually am working on a documentary. As some people have seen, I made the movie Hysterical for FX. It's on Hulu now, which is a documentary about female comedians. And now I'm working on a documentary about female comedians around the world. And I've interviewed like 12 female comics from all over the world, and some of them are in Arab countries, and literally they're not allowed to talk about the government, the military, the royal family. They will get arrested or beaten, or the military shows up to their shows. They have to sign papers. So the way that we are take freedom of speech so, it's amazing to me how people are in this country. That I've interviewed comics, like the only female comic in Jordan. She's the only one. And like, it's just incredible to me how people take it for granted here. So because it's become so much like that here, it's become less fun for me. But I still love it, and I'm, packing shows more than ever, and I won't stop doing it. But it's never been my favorite thing to do in this business. So that's it.
You're amazing at it.
Thank you. And I'll still do it. But yeah, I can't. The shows are packed. Most people are dying laughing, but I will always find the one. I know most comics say this. The one person who looks like miserable, and I'm always like, why did you come? Like, go bowling or go to a funeral. That's where you look like you want to be. Like, just it's hard. It's hard because you deal with the situation where your parents are both ill. I've dealt with loss in the past 4 years. I have a daughter who has heart disease. I've dealt with things in my life. So when I look at someone who just looks miserable at a comedy show, it makes me so crazy at how trivial that is, that they're upset about jokes.
Yeah.
Or it's like, life could be so much fucking worse than being upset over a joke. Like, people are suffering in the world. Things are so much more upsetting than a joke. It's so disgusting to me. It makes me crazy. Yeah. That was a very long answer. But that's how I feel.
That's what makes you great.
Thank you.
You're very passionate about that point of view, and I think it's true.
Yeah.
Definitely, of the people here tonight, I mean, they agree and they see your point of view in comics too. I mean, that's why you're so well respected.
Most comics feel that way. There are some comics who turn on other comics, and those comics are the worst. Those are the ones who make me the sickest. Any comic who has been turning on other comics recently are the worst. Because they, out of all people, should know that, some comics, their material makes me want to vomit. And I hate what they have to say, and it sickens me, and I can't even believe. And I can't even, I think you're brilliant. Yay. But and I can't even believe what they're saying, but I still feel like they have the right to say it. I still feel like they have the right to say it because this is America, and I'm grateful to be here.
Yeah.
And so anyway, but I love I love your material, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you that you put out a special and that you did that documentary. And you're a great person, and I'm rooting for you. And
Likewise, the respect is mutual for sure, and the love.
oh, thank you. And so tell everyone where they can follow you and find you.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Jesus Trejo, the number 1. Yeah, because there's more than one Jesus Trejo.
Is there?
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a lot of Jesus Trejos out there. Like a lot. I'm like, oh
You
shit.
got number 1 though.
No, I had to add the 1. Somebody already had it without the 1. I had to emphasize it.
Had just Jesus Trejo.
No, add Jesus Trejo, and then I have to put literally the number 1.
But
right.
you got 1.
Yeah, 1. But there's somebody without the actual number 1.
I
at the
know.
But
end.
thank God it's not 14 or like
No, that's what I mean,
78.
89.
I snagged those up just in
That's
case
so-
too. So.
You did?
No, I'm just fucking.
Yeah, buy the shit out of him. I'll eat
Yeah,
him.
or JesusTrejo.com. Everything's there. Yeah, thank you so much. I
You're a
appreciate
brilliant
you.
comic, and you're a great person and a wonderful son. You really are. It's beautiful what you've done. You didn't have to do all of that. You didn't have to.
I didn't?
So no. A lot of kids
Yeah,
don't.
real
They get someone
I'm
to
gonna
take
have a
care
long
of
talk
them.
with my parents right now. Thank you so much, ladies. I really
Give him a
appreciate it.
hand. Thank you guys. Thank you, honey. Thank you so much. I want to thank you guys for coming and being a part of this and supporting the podcast and supporting live comedy. And you're such a great crowd. Again, this could have been horrific.
Yeah.
And it can go either way.
Yep.
Yeah, you're wonderful. I want to thank you, my friend,
you.
for being so amazing.
Thanks for
And
having me.
you're
Justine.
brilliant. You're brilliant, Sammy. And thank you.
Thanks, Judy.
Thank you. You're welcome, Dr. Cohen. Thank you
Jason.
so much for making me laugh all the time.
You got it.
And I
Same.
adore you. And thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much.
much.
Awesome. Thank you.